It's week 10 on the Appalachian Trail, and at the end of this week, it is Trail Days, and we are feeling so excited to go. For those who don't know, Trail Days is a festival in Damascus, Virginia that is all based around the Appalachian Trail. It is like 3 or 4 days, and it is basically just a big hiker trash party, and I was excited to be attending this year as a thru hiker. But before we got there, we had some miles to go to reach Woods Hole Hostel. You could tell the spot we were hiking through had been hit by lightning, and it was kind of fascinating to see and also kind of scary. This day on trail was one of our biggest mileage days yet, and it paid off because we hit the 600-mile mark. The days leading up to Trail Days were incredibly rainy, and so honestly, I didn't take a lot of video, but we did spend a lot of time finding ways to entertain ourselves, and on this particular day, we spent 3 miles singing renditions of Dumb Ways to Die. Before I knew it, we were at Woods Hole Hostel, which ended up being one of my favorite hostels on trail. Between the fresh food, the vibe of the place, getting to pick our own lettuce for dinner, and then getting to enjoy that dinner that other thru hikers had helped make, it was just a really special place, and even though we were only there for a short time, it felt so relaxing. And while we were there, we got to meet up with one of our favorite trail families, the BFs, and then we got to shuttle with them to Trail Days. It was really, really fun, except that Barbie had started to feel sick right before we left. Despite that Barbie wasn't feeling 100%, we were having an awesome time so far. We had ran into so many friends that we hadn't seen for hundreds of miles, and we were making the most of every day that we had here in Damascus and at Trail Days. We were able to reunite with Bearbag and Ozark for a few days. We went on some of the tours, like the bird tour and the tree tour, and it was really fun to see those talks. And I was able to pick up these custom trail tags that I had made for my tramily. A big shout out to Taps for making those custom trail tags for me, and to Hunter for bringing them to Trail Days so I could pick them up. Between the gear vendors, the art vendors, the music, and all of the wonderful thru hiking, hiker trash people around, it was just such a weekend full of fun and different activities. We tried to fit in everything that we could in such a short amount of time. I will say that a lot of thru hikers got really excited about going into the woods, and while it was cool to see, it just really wasn't my vibe. It was really cool for me to experience and to be a part of it for this year while I was a thru hiker, but I can't say that I will go back to this part during future visits to Trail Days. I guess you could just say I'm a little bit boring, and that's okay. Despite that I am not cool enough to hang out, it was really fun to go and dance with friends in the woods and just be together again with all the people that we had been missing. I caught Barbie in this moment of silliness and taking a break from all the crowds. There is so much going on at Trail Days that it can be hard to do everything that you want to do. And one thing that I wish we got to do a little bit more of was some of the talks. They were really cool, and I hope that we were able to fit a little bit more of that in the next time I go. But for this year, I was focusing a lot of my time on the traditions of Trail Days, like the hiker parade. Somewhere I had heard that men wore prom dresses for the hiker parade, and so my whole tramily, all the males at least, were in their best prom dresses, and honestly, it was fantastic to see. I got Barbie in a hot pink dress, and in spirit, I dressed as his Ken.
23, 23, 23, 23. Each year, 1937, footpath complete, Maine to Georgia. Vincent Mackay's dream became your reality. You are royalty.
Between getting to watch Ozark carry the sign during the parade and listening to Odie speak, it was just such a memorable time to be at Trail Days and to be a part of this whole group of people that love the Appalachian Trail. It's really quite special, the community that the AT has created. To continue on with the Trail Days fun, we went contra dancing, and Barbie went in his dress, and we just had a grand old time dancing with a bunch of hikers, and yeah, really just having fun and just not even thinking about anything other than that. I think that's part of the beauty of thru hiking, is that the things that we let stress us out in reality are gone. Before we knew it, it was time to head back to trail, and my mom was sweet enough to come pick us up so we wouldn't have to deal with a shuttle on the way back to Woods Hole. Even though it was a really short visit with my mom, it was good to see her again. And even though Trail Days was fun, I was honestly a bit grateful to be back on the trail. It's just, I'm an introvert and Trail Days can be a little bit chaotic, so it was nice to be back in the peacefulness of the woods and following my feet down a dirt path. Before Trail Days, Smokin' Burrito had told us that after Trail Days, he would have to be separating from us and starting to hike faster. He just honestly couldn't afford to go at the pace that we were going anymore. This was our last day hiking with him, and that was bittersweet, but we also understood that he had to hike his own hike. And so for the last day, at least for now, we followed like little ducklings down the trail. Rhodo tunnel! In the few days that we had been off trail, the rhododendron and flame azalea were now exploding in color, and I loved when I saw both of them at the same time. It was so pretty to see the bright pinks and the bright oranges together. They're two of my favorite spring flowers, and it was, oh my gosh, even though we were losing Burrito, it was still really magical to see all this beauty on the trail everywhere we went, and to see how all this beauty was changing as the seasons went on. I can't wait to see what summer on the AT brings next.